Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Success in You. I'm your host, Forbes Riley, and I'm here today with a very unique gentleman. Yeah, if you've ever wondered, can you get hacked? Can your identity be stolen? Well, he is specialized in cybersecurity, and he lives by the motto, protect and serve. Please welcome Greg Jones. Greg, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Forbes. Happy to be here.
It's so nice to know that somebody like you is out there protecting us.
Yes.
Now, what started this whole concept for you?
So for me, this started very, very young. In the third grade, I remember watching David Carradine, watching Kung Fu, and watching how he learned the martial arts and went out and created these stories of protection from city to city. So the first chance that I got in ninth grade, I signed up for martial arts, signed up for my first karate class. And that was really the beginning of my identity. I learned very young how to protect myself, but then that's transferred and I learned how to protect others. Eventually, I went on to own my own dojo and my own karate school where I taught jiu-jitsu, karate, judo, martial arts weapons, taught women self-defense classes. So that's really where my protection identity and my anchor began.
You know, it's funny, I got mugged when I was in my 30s, and I ended up in a self-defense class for the first time.
Yes.
Walked into a dojo and was really confused why I didn't study it before I got mugged.
Yeah.
So how important is that, do you think, for us to learn those skills?
I think it's critical. I think protection and that protection mindset, it impacts every area of our life. It impacts how we show up in the world. It impacts how we serve other people. It impacts our mindset and our confidence, which flows into everything.
Well, I'm sure as you move through life, you have a lot of those principles that you take with you. I know I do. Yes. One of the ones is that whenever you go to somebody new, and it's just the Eastern philosophy, you take your cup and you empty it so that somebody new can pour into it. Never come with a full cup.
Absolutely.
What's one motto or one thought that you got from all the years of studying martial arts?
So I think it started really early, and you would be standing there in class and you'd be punching or doing something, doing your forms, and the instructors would come over and correct you. And there were multiple lessons in that moment. One, it's how to take constructive feedback. And that the feedback loop in life is how we get really, really good. It's how we learn to take life to the next level, is we should not only be taking feedback from others, but we should be self-aware and giving ourselves our own feedback. So that was a really important lesson that I learned early on.
I think that is so very important because I think most people don't. They get very defensive and they don't really learn. And that's what the studios are all about. The other one that I really like is that when you walk into a dojo, you bow. Can you imagine if you took that into high schools or colleges when you walk into a new environment and you bow to the teacher?
Yeah, leading with respect, leading with good communication, and leading with openness, I think is really important.
Now, as you progress through life, you decided the military world was a good fit. It makes sense in terms of protection. Where did you go after school?
So after school, for a while, I went into the military. I studied Arabic as an Arabic linguist and worked in the Army. And then after that, after I got out, I then went on and became a firefighter, an EMT. And then I also continued my tech journey. That's where I started cybersecurity.
You're like the cybersecurity MacGyver. I was like, oh my gosh, what haven't you done?
Yes. So for 25 plus years, I've served in cybersecurity for the U.S. intelligence agencies and helped protect our country, our organizations from the bad guys that are out there, hackers, terrorists, all of those things, and just helping us keep safe. There's so many things going on that most people don't realize. And the bad guys are always at work. And thankfully, the good guys are always at work too.
I will share with you, I have been hacked out of my identity. I've been hacked out of social media. And when that happens, you're like, wait a second, there really are bad guys out there. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. Yes. They are looking, they have two purposes, either for greed and they're trying to gain money, or they're just seeking to destroy and disrupt. They want to create chaos.
So for those of us who are just at home on our computers, what's a suggestion you might have?
I have many. So good passwords. Don't use the same password everywhere. Make backups of your data. That way, if something catastrophic happens, you can easily recover it.
Okay.
Use antivirus software. Don't click on the goofy links that come in email or over text these days. Just the other day, I got one from the DMV that said, hey, you have a court appearance for a parking violation. And it's completely fake. And thankfully, with my background, I was able to immediately recognize it and knew not to click on it. Because at that point, once you click, you're owned.
Oh my gosh, I will share with you. I've gone through a couple of those where they'll call and say it's your bank and somebody did a charge and, can you get that information? I don't think I've fallen for anything, but can you imagine that one click where everything does disappear? This happened for one of the girls who works with me. Her mom got hooked up with this scam, and they said your bank, blah, blah, blah. The next thing you know, she has no money. Her entire retirement was taken out of her bank account. There was nothing she could do about it.
And it's just this faceless person, probably in another country behind a keyboard,
Right.
and just trying to impersonate, social engineer you to get to what is most valuable to you. And that's really where I come in, into protecting what's valuable. And I apply that in cybersecurity. Now I'm applying that to business to help people protect what's invaluable to them, their time, their teams, and their money.
Before I get to what you're doing now, I just want to see, is there anything fun that you can share with us about all those years in the government and hacking? And I just want some little inside story that you can say now that you're out of that.
So technically, I'm not completely out. I still help and support them. So one of the things that I would say that I've done is really helped identify and help protect some very sensitive things that have been newsworthy.
Oh.
Honestly, I can't go into a lot of detail.
Otherwise, I'd have to kill you.
Yes, yes. The famous line is true. Yeah, there is definitely a lot of stuff that has happened and a lot of headlines that I've been directly involved with.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we'll leave it at that.
We will talk about that later.
Yes.
To be continued.
Yes.
Now you've taken all your expertise in cybersecurity and protection, and you're focused on businesses. Tell me about what the switch is all about for you.
So the switch happens naturally and almost magically. So for 25 years, I've been focused on computer forensics and reverse engineering. Reverse engineering is taking complex systems and networks and discovering how they work. And what that means is what's working, what's not working, and what could be working better. And so what I've done is I've taken that and I've applied that to business. And then now with the power of AI, you can do some very magical things in helping businesses uncover what's stealing the business's time, what's stealing the business's revenue, and what opportunities is the business missing.
That is so very helpful, because I own two companies, and when you're in the coffee in the cup, you don't see all of those things.
Right.
What's some of the biggest mistakes when you've gone into a company that you're like, man, that was so obvious. Can't believe they didn't see it?
So I have a number of stories. One of the stories that I just recently had, I had a founder that I was working with. He was making $1.4 million, working 72 hours a week. So I went in, analyzed his company. I have a thing called a founder dependency map, and it essentially maps out every task within that company.
Oh, wow.
They had 18 critical paths that were part of their revenue streams. Mm-hmm. The founder's name was on 13 of the tasks. So that's bad, because the founder immediately becomes the bottleneck. All the critical decisions had to go through him. All the quality assurance checks had to go through him. All the revenue decisions, all the new clients. So everybody was waiting on him. So the company's revenue and time was capped at only what the founder could do. So I went in, created this founder dependency map. And then from that, we determined that his name really only needed to be on 4 of the 18 tasks. So we came up with some criteria, structured how his team functioned, freed up the money, and in 90 days, he went from 1.4 to 2.1 million. That's over 50% increase. And his hours went from 72 hours a week down to 40 hours a week.
And doesn't every founder want to hear that?
Yes.
So one of the things that you said is very important for all my entrepreneurs out there. Do you find that the founder is often the bottleneck in the company?
I think it depends on the stage of the company. So when we start out in a company, I've been running my company since 2013. Mm-hmm. We start out small. Everything does flow through the founder because it's our baby. It's our brainchild.
Right.
We're the ones with the know-how. We know the business. We know the offers. We know the products. And so because of that, everything does flow through us. And so when you're 500 to 3 million, that works great. But the issue that founders have is they keep the same business structure and business design, and they don't grow it. So their company grows, their revenue grows, their clients grow, but the structure doesn't grow. And so they end up outgrowing. And then so the bottleneck stays, and then the revenue and time get capped.
You're definitely kind of a scaling master.
Yes, scaling is key.
When a founder's ready to let go, though, of certain tasks, what do you recommend to them? Who do they need to seek? Because one of the problems as a founder is you believe, maybe not true, that only you can do these things, right?
Yes. Yes, and that's a double-edged sword, because there's some truth to that statement. The key is being able to do a transition and a transfer of knowledge, being able to come up with the systems, identifying what tasks really aren't important anymore, or what tasks need to be delegated that really we don't need to be spending our valuable time on. We as founders need to be focused on what are the revenue generating things? What are the things that are really going to take our company and our organization to the next level? And that's what we need to be focused on.
So you come from a bit of a military background. What does the letters SOP mean to you?
Standard operating procedure.
Yeah.
And one of the things, I've got a YouTube video that's getting ready to come out, and it's called the SOP Lie. And it's really, a lot of people come in and they think, oh, I'll just create an SOP and that'll solve all my problems.
Right.
But essentially what that ends up doing is that ends up organizing your chaos and your dysfunction. And you end up with SOP binders on the shelf that nobody reads.
Yes, I know that.
Yes.
So what do you recommend to us who have SOP, I'm looking at me, SOP binders on the shelf?
Yes, we all have that. We're all guilty of it. So no shame.
Okay, thank you.
So the real key is enacting and building real systems that function and structure. So it's not just about creating the SOP. Even though SOPs are a valuable tool, it's got to be coupled with installation and execution.
So I would love you to turn to my audience, a lot of who are entrepreneurs and people who are curious to scale and build their companies. Let's all get to that 3 million and above mark. What would you say to them?
I would say that as an entrepreneur, the thing that you want to do is I have 3 steps that I break this down into. The first thing you want to do is you want to diagnose the problem. And those specific problems are different from every company to every founder, even though there's a lot of similarities, and that's what I see in my business. So you want to go in and you want to diagnose with your data, with your company, with your offers and your products and your team, and identify what are your problems. And I've got a number of tools and diagnostics and systems that do that. The next thing you want to do is design a solution that's customized to you. You want to take and say, okay, here's my gap. I'm 13 of the 18 tasks that drive revenue in my company have my name on them. Why am I the bottleneck for those? So you want to free that up, empower your team so that they can actually make the decisions to get the job done. We all want a rock star team, but sometimes we as founders have to get out of the way and let the team operate, let them fail sometimes and let them grow, because that's how we get to that next level as companies and as teams. The third step is once I have diagnosed, then we've designed, the next step is to deploy as quickly as possible. A lot of companies get tied up into this and they end up having a 1 or 2 year execution plan. This should be fast, and you've got to go iteratively. You've got to implement and do minimal viable products to get this stuff to market and get this stuff integrated in your business quickly. So that's where I would start.
Give me those 3 words again. The 3 steps are?
So it's diagnose,
right,
design, deploy. Easy to remember.
I think it sounds wonderful. You often hear the phrase, don't be the smartest person in the room. What does that phrase mean for you?
So I think that means surrounding yourself with the right people. Part of my approach is to identify gaps in your organization and identify capabilities. And that could be gaps in your team. What are you missing? Are you missing the rock star person that knows AI, or that knows how to create a thriving team culture, or that knows how to actually implement SOPs so you're not stuck in the SOP lie?
Right.
So I think that's critical. So that's what that means to me.
Now, I understand that you are formulating your first book. Let's forecast this. What's it going to be about?
So it's going to be about driving. It aligns with something else that I'm creating. I have a workshop and I have a certification that I'm creating.
Oh, wow.
It's called the Applied AI Strategist Certification.
Oh, I love that.
And essentially what that is it's going into businesses within the verticals within their business, whether that's marketing, operations, client, competitor analysis, et cetera. And it's applying AI. So that's what the book is going to be about. It's going to cover the 6 modules in my certification and really help owners and founders take and apply AI and apply these scaling strategies that I've been developing for years and apply that into their business in real ways, not just using AI to create cute pictures and fancy emails,
right,
which is the way most people are doing it. Mine is all about applying it to your business to really scale your business to the next level. It's like crack for businesses. You can get where you can accomplish in 3 days or 3 months what would used to take years in a business.
I want you to turn to the audience at home and tell them the reason they should be implementing AI at that level and what they can look forward to by working with you.
Yes, AI is I call it a force multiplier. It's one of the most powerful leverage tools, especially for small businesses, but for large businesses as well. And it allows you to do things at scale that you could never do, that it would take teams. And even those teams of people, you would get a half product that would come out of it. So AI can allow you to intake vast volumes of data and do analysis, data analysis, and gather intelligence based on your systems and what gaps are in your organization and what capabilities your organization is missing, what leverage and what revenue opportunities you're missing that can actually scale your company tenfold. And so that's the power of AI these days.
I would say if you're lucky enough to have Greg on your team, you're lucky enough.
Yes.
Is there anything that you would like to share that we haven't talked about?
I'm about two things. A lot of organizations, a lot of consultants, a lot of coaches, they all focus on education. The thing that really drives me is installation and execution. I'm all about let's get it done now.
Right.
And let's not wait around. Let's not gather a committee. Let's not talk about this and have meetings about meetings. I'm all about let's figure out the problem and let's fix it fast, because that's how we make impact in the world. And that's really what drives me, is about impacting people and impacting organizations so they can make a difference. Whatever their calling is, it's about enabling them to execute and have the greatest impact in the time that they're put on this earth.
Well, I think they've inspired me. I'm going to go change my password now.
Yes.
But I think we can take so much more action. I'm so glad that you're doing all this. Thank you for sharing us. Greg, how do we find you?
So there are a number of ways to find me. You can find me on YouTube, look up Founders Freedom. You can also go to my website.
All right.
And you can look at the link below. My website is withgregjones.com, or you can just look in the link below.
I appreciate your time.
Right.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much for
Forbes.
doing all that you do. All right, we'll be right back after this message.
Thank you.